It's books over boys. Are you ready, Bookish Babes?
Hey Book Babes, it's Books Over Boys. I'm May.
I'm Mai.
And this is episode 4.
Woo, woo, woo.
Hey
Yes.
guys.
Guys, we are still at it with our girl Neva.
Neva Beaver.
I
Beaves.
not with you. So book 4 is Ruined Secrets. Again, if you are new, then just so you are aware, this is the Imperfectly Perfect series by our girl Neva Altaj. And book 4 is all about Luca and Isabella's story. This is technically a 12-book series. Currently, if you get this book, whether it's paperback or on Kindle or audiobook, you'll see that it's an 11-book series. But if you follow our girl Neves on social media, you'll know that she said that there will be a 12th book.
We have no idea who
That book will be about.
And I feel like we might be able to start speculating soon. I feel like after this book, maybe we can start
feel
to
like-
see. Do you
I
think they've
don't
been
know.
introduced yet?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I was thinking it was going to be
Costia.
Yeah, but then Neves announced on social media that he wasn't getting a storyline. Unless she's
playing
playing us.
Yeah.
Girl, the way
Yeah,
my
that
jaw
would be-
will be on the flow. But then again, he, got around. So, him finding, a love
A
interest.
love interest.
like,
yeah.
You done slept through half of whatever.
Yeah.
Isn't it Chicago, New York?
Yeah, Chicago.
Who wants that?
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
That's universal. Nobody wants that.
Everybody's man. He's pretty street. But maybe she could be switching it up and doing, because so far it's been always a couple. There's always been. So maybe this one he could be a lone wolf. But it's a couple, so never mind.
It would need to be a couple unless it's a trouble kind of a thing. Or a open
Relationship.
But ain't no way
That's
Costia
just
going for that.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
crazy
don't know.
though.
That would be. What if she gave us Felix and Grandma Guadalupe?
Respectfully, I do not want to read
Oh.
their love life. I don't want their
Isn't he 70? With
age.
that?
There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just I look at them as the fatherly figure,
Yeah,
and
okay,
the
fine.
grandparent,
Yeah.
parental.
Yeah.
And then it's also just what would their storyline
Line
really
be?
be? Because you'd be reiterating stuff we've seen. So you'd either go back and
It
evaluate.
could be like a prequel. No.
Neves, don't do that. Don't piss me off, Neves. Don't piss me off. Absolutely
Okay,
not.
Fine, I tried. I was trying to. I feel like it's gonna be she's gonna throw us for a loop. It's gonna be somebody we definitely have seen, but not.
I feel
was
like
not
maybe it'll be
expecting.
somebody we thought was
dead. Ooh. But who's died so far?
somebody that we've read about, whether it's a friend, family member.
The only
sibling.
people that have died were bad people. It's
No, but I'm saying
Bruno.
somebody who they had somebody in their life that they thought a parent that they said wasn't here anymore, or Sergi was a half brother. Did you have a half sister that's somewhere else in the world that you didn't know about?
that you didn't know about. Okay.
But Neves, don't piss me off. I want it to be somebody we read about. Give me something and make it somebody good.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we are going to be doing Luca and Isabella for this book, and I'm just gonna get it out there. I had some serious beef with this book, and I really wanted to DNF. Not even gonna lie.
Oh my god!
I
you're
wanted
so
to DNF
annoying.
sad. The only reason why I didn't is for you guys. That's the only reason why I got through this book. So that way I could give a full-on reason for why I did not like this book.
So I will say some of the tropes with this book are obviously age gap. That's May's biggest issue, if you couldn't tell. There's the amnesia piece, and I'd say there's the arranged marriage component.
Yeah.
And then the book tells you that there's a possessive or jealousy trope.
Mm-hmm.
To me, we weren't really heavy on the jealousy or heavy on the possessiveness.
No.
Not towards her, in his actions and some of his words.
And I think it was mostly because of what he was into, too. His sexual preference was the possessive and controlling. But that's what he liked.
Yeah.
He liked to be in control. But for me, the biggest thing was, their age just didn't. And then she was so young-minded, too. In certain situations, she was just very, her age just showed. And it was really annoying.
I feel like her age showed a little bit, but I also just feel like if it wasn't for her.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
So Isabella is what, 18? 19.
So the main female character is our girl Isabella. She is the granddaughter of the Don of the Cosa Nostra. And if I'm saying that wrong, it's okay. Basically, he is ill. He knows his time is coming, so he's just trying to ensure that he makes arrangements and that his granddaughter will be taken care of. So he has set forth this arranged marriage.
Well, no, originally, remember, she was originally supposed to be married to
Angelo Scardoni.
Yeah, she was really supposed to be married to... And why does that name sound familiar?
Because he's been mentioned before, and I wonder if he's going to get a storyline.
He could. But Angelo Scardoni, who's he? He's related to somebody.
Angelo Scardoni.
Angelo Scardoni, isn't that Bianca's brother?
Is it? I think so.
That's from book 2. Angelo, because he was in Mexico.
He's Bianca and Melani's brother. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So originally, Isabella, the plan was for Isabella to get married, Angelo Scardoni, who is a part of the... What are they?
Leading
Are they Irish? Is that the Irish? At this point, I feel like we need like a connection, like a web. We need to, at this point, have somewhere here in front of us, like a, this person is related to this person. Family tree. That's what we just need to draw.
We need a family tree, and we need to remember who's attached, because I know they're Italian, but what I don't remember is if they're the New York, the Chicago, or where.
Yeah.
So they're a part of the Italian mafia.
Bianca, Melanie, Angelo are all Italian.
Yeah, and the Angelo's in charge, basically.
Okay, because Bruno died. Bruno was killed by...
Bruno was removed.
Yes, by Mikhail. Okay, but anyway, so the connection there is she was originally supposed to be married to Angelo Scardoni, but her grandfather, the Don, like Maya said, was trying to ensure that his granddaughter's taken care of and that the family is what they call themselves.
So there's like a successor in that.
Yeah, make sure that everyone is taken care of. Mm-hmm. The whole...
And that with his passing.
Yeah.
That the family will still be strong and things will be able to continue. Now, No knew about Isabella's crush that she's had since she was 6, which I know. Calling out that detail, a little cringy.
Yeah. She had a crush on Luca.
She had a crush on Luca since she was 6 years old. Now she's 19. But it's like the grandfather has always known that she's been into him. Mm-hmm. Now, what I will say is that Luca was not like interested in her romantically, didn't even think about her like that. Luca had a wife, and so this is how far Nono went to ensure his granddaughter was taken care of and got what she wanted. Mm-hmm. And she didn't find out about this until later on, but Nono knew that Luca's first wife was cheating on her. She was seducing Luca's men, and she never got caught, but everyone knew. So he paid somebody to sleep with his wife, like his wife being Luca's wife. Mm-hmm. That way they would get caught. Now, Luca sent him back to his maker when he caught them in the act. Yes, Luca wasn't playing that. Yeah. Luca removed him.
Yeah.
Okay? He was deleted.
In the middle of her, like...
Yep, he pushed his wife out of the way.
Yeah, shot him.
Deleted
him, mm-hmm. and then threw his wife outside.
Yep, kicked her out.
And was
half naked and all, not my problem.
Yeah.
So he kind of, after that whole thing happened, he's just focusing on himself. He's focusing on his daughter, and his crime organization. Mm-hmm. And the grandfather just always knew
that Luca
was a good man, had a good head on his shoulders. Although
he could handle.
Yeah, he could handle, and he would put the needs of his granddaughter as a priority. So in the beginning, Luca struggled with this, especially with the age. Now, May didn't like that they kept saying, like...
Yeah, throughout the whole... so the age, I would have gotten past it if they didn't keep mentioning it.
Teenage wife was said 7 times.
They said it seemed way more than that. Because he was like, my teenage wife, or my young wife, or my da-da-da. And it's just like, we get it. Like, she's young, we get it. And like, he just kept pointing that out. And it was just, and then also she kept like saying like, oh, I've had a crush on him since I was 6 when he saved me from the pool. And like, I've been dreaming about him. And like, I couldn't get past
Okay, 13
that.
times I counted. 13 times. 9 of those 13 times were young wife. The other 4 were teenage wife. I will say, I feel like, I don't want to say Stockholm syndrome, because I know it's not that. Don't come for me. But, like, he saved her from drowning. So I felt she kind of always fantasized about him in a way.
She did. She literally did.
She did. We'll say this is definitely an adjustment. Like, age gaps for me, I struggle with.
Yeah.
And I say that cautiously, but I struggle when there's an age gap between, like, 18 and 19. When you still have the teen in the number.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
I struggle. But it's also, I struggle when I think authors will point out she was into him, or she had these thoughts, she really liked him, and, like, he didn't know she existed, to kind of, like, hey, there's no predatory thing.
Yeah.
But for me, you just further instill a weirdness.
Because there was one part when Isabella was saying, she would run up to him and he would pick her up, and once she turned 13, he kind of, like, brushed her off. So for me, I feel like he kind of knew that she had a thing for him, and he kind of got weirded out and was like, all right,
like, let me chill
on.
But he was also married, and it's also, teenage girls and, like, young girls. First of all, I had so many posters of different people, like, on my walls and stuff, and you couldn't tell me. At 12, I had husbands. These husbands that I had, over 18. Some of them were younger, obviously, and, like, teenagers. Boy bands, Chris Browns, and, like, the Justin Biebers, the Jonas Brothers, things like that. And it's just, what's the difference? To an extent.
Okay, yeah, I feel you.
But I think it's just, like, we don't need to elaborate how much their interactions were at specific ages.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah.
So for me, just reading that, I was like, But I will say, again, the one thing about our girl Neve, she is giving you a taste of different styles.
Yeah.
And I will say, from again, you guys, I've read out of order. From the other books that I've read, they don't do things with the details and explaining background history if there are age gaps. But honestly, this entire series is an age gap.
Yeah.
The entire series, but this is the only book where it's, like,
heavy
explaining in such details as an adolescent. Yeah. Like, which was kind of weird. But what I will say is, I know you didn't really like Isabella, but I gotta give it to Isabella for being a strong-headed queen. And at the end of the day, she saved Luca's life. And Luca also has a daughter.
Mm-hmm. And she stepped up for her daughter.
Isabella really stepped up.
Because, what was his wife's name? Simone or whatever?
Oh my God, what was the wife's name?
I think it was Simone. But because even her daughter... Simona. Even her daughter didn't call her mom. Like, her daughter called her Simone. And I understand that there's different, like, relationship dynamics and stuff like that. But, like, it sounded like Simona did not want her daughter at all. Like, did not care about
Rosa at all.
At all. She didn't care. And Isabella, I will give it to her. I think Rose is like, I think she's like 7, 8. She was just mouthy.
Okay, yeah. She's young.
Yeah, she was just very mouthy. And like when Isabella, the first day, Isabella was at their house after they got married. Rosa was like refusing to come downstairs. She's like, I'm not eating with that woman.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. So she definitely, I will give it to Isabella for stepping up and trying with Rosa.
Trying to connect with her and, like, make her feel included. And, like, I think part of Rosa's issue was just, like, she was used to, like, her mom. The story talks about, like, her mom forgetting to pick her up from preschool.
Yeah.
So she's just not used to having that maternal figure who, like, cared about her.
Yeah.
So, like, your first reaction is to not want that. And also just not be trusting of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also, from her eyes, she probably sees her as, like,
oh, you got me a sister.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, oh, yeah, I got a sister. But, but I will say, fine, Isabella did step up in that regard. But it's just Isabella's attitude towards Luca and, like, you will love me and you will see me as an adult and, like...
Because Luca kept saying, you're my young wife or you're my teenage wife. Like, I'm not doing this with you. Or, we're married in name only. And it's like, she's so happy. Like, she finally gets... Like, she even told Luca towards the end, and Luca got jealous. She was like, well, technically I was engaged to Angelo.
Yeah.
He was like, what? And she was like, well, I was trying to date somebody to get you off my mind.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, Angelo's 10 years younger than me. Then maybe you should have just married him or been with him. She was like, but he's not you.
Yeah.
I've always wanted you. And let me tell you something. We'll get into the plot in a little bit, but let me tell you something. If it wasn't for Isabella, Luca would not be here. Okay? And I know he's a fictional character, but he wouldn't be here.
Because in the prologue talks about him waking up. Oh, yeah. So in the prologue, it starts off with him saying he doesn't know who he is, or he wakes up in the hospital and his young wife is staring at him. So we can get into the plot now.
Okay, so basically what happened was, you can do it.
So what happens? Okay, so they get married, and Luca doesn't want anything to do with Isabella. He's like very distant, tries to keep her in a different room, and a couple nights into their marriage, he hears noises, and so he won't, because what ends up happening is I think Luca tries to put her down the hall, but
she said she gonna get her man.
She said she gonna get her man, literally any means necessary, and so she moves into the room that is right next to his room, and there's like a closet that, like, it's like a Jack and Jill closet. I think it is, right? Like, it's like a Jack and Jill closet that, like, they can pass through.
Is it a bathroom closet?
I thought it was a closet. Either way, it's a Jack and Jill something. And he hears noises, so he opens the door to Isabella's room, and she's masturbating. And she's staring him in the eyes, and she's just like, you know, like, this is what you could have. And that just, for me, it just was too much. Like, I just was not feeling this book at all.
That was a bit extreme. I was just like, Bella.
Yeah, like, and like, she did it like every night. Like,
but then it was like he kept going back to watch her.
Yeah, he kept going back to watch her.
And it became like their little thing.
Yeah. But I just,
you know, to each is their own. That's a little crazy, girl. There's other things we could do out here.
To get.
And by us, I mean you. So there's that.
So he would be like super distant, and so that's how she was trying to get him to see. Like, the whole time she was just trying to get him to see her as an adult, and to see her
truly as his wife.
As his wife, yeah. So then, when that wasn't working, she started going to his job and showing up at his job. It was just too desperate for me. I think that's what it was. It was just, she was just so desperate for his attention. And
but I feel like if she would have been 24, you would not be bothered by her actions.
Yeah, I think it really was the age.
I think it really is the age. Any other woman doing this would not have been bothered by.
But also, she wouldn't, at 20-something, Luca wouldn't have not been think it
but
really
if Luca was distant at 24, she would have done other things like going out.
Yeah.
Like, she could have, and it's just like, to me, at 18, 19, if you're trying to be petty to get a man, like, you're not going to just show up as a job. You're not going to do all that. Like,
yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be in the club. Like, I'm going to be all over social media.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just a me thing. But, honey, when Robbie and I started dating, and I was mad, I'm outside.
Yeah.
In my Instagram story, in my Instagram.
Yes. It would be. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, outside, out and about. Yeah.
Outside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I guess to each their own, but it's just like, I really do think if she was in her late, because it's like, for me, you can't even go to the club and get a drink. Like, it's just like, you can't even go, if you go out, you cannot get a drink while you're out and about.
Stopping a princess, a mafia princess from getting a beverage.
You're right.
Not that we condone underage drinking.
No.
Fictional speaking.
Yes. Stay in school, kids.
Wait,
actually, don't even listen to things. Yeah, actually, if you're like, you shouldn't even be here. So I'm gonna need you to clock all the way out and go listen to Miss Jill.
Did you say Miss Rachel?
Yeah, I said, go clock out and go listen to Miss Rachel. Log out for me, baby. Log out. You shouldn't even be here. No, it's just like, Isabella, you're not even old enough to go to the bar with your real ID and grab a drink, right? So it's just like, just
take the teen out of it. Like, why couldn't you be
20? Yeah, why couldn't we be 20? Like, that's what it was. It's like, why couldn't we be 20? And why also did we have to constantly say, my young wife, my teenage wife?
Because it was also a struggle for him, because he doesn't want to be seen and labeled as like that. Because I feel like, let's be honest, how many age gap couples do we know?
Yeah.
Or not just us, like, in general. And it's like, the first time someone brings this person home, or you find out someone's dating someone, the question is like always, how old is he? Yeah. Or how old is she? And once you share the age, it's like either, oh, okay, that's not that bad. Or it's like, and how did you meet? When did you meet? Or what are your...
What are your intentions?
Like, people joke about, like, cougars and stuff, right? But it's like...
Yeah.
I just made a face, guys, as if you could see my face. Sorry. But I like raised my eyebrow and like, you know.
Like, what is, yeah.
But it's also like people will give more grief to a male that's a lot older than a woman than when it's the opposite. So I just feel like for him, he was probably just thinking about that, but also it's a weakness for him. And he already knows that he has a weakness because he's trying to figure out like who tried to delete him. And now it's like you're bringing in this young wife and you have a young daughter who already doesn't have like her mom in the picture now. And it's like you just basically took on another liability. And not saying that you have to train your wife, like, because obviously ladies do not be trained, controlled by any man or anyone. But like you have to get her accustomed to, yes, she was already involved in the organization to an extent as being born into it. But that just added stress.
Yeah, because now he's taking over as the Don. So it's like he has this huge target on his back. Not only does he have the huge target on his back just by being the Don, but people, Cosa Nostra family,
are going to judge.
Yeah, and he's not even, because you would think it would go to the second in command, which is Lorenzo, their second in command. But the Don, Isabella's grandfather, didn't pick his second in command.
No, he didn't want him.
He didn't want his second in command. He wanted Luca. So now you just created all this strife within the family, and it's like Luca has to take this on and deal with it too. So I guess, yeah.
So like, you know, and that's also people look at you because if she makes a mistake or does something, the first thing is that's what happens when you marry a young somebody. But also, you know how May just mentioned that the Nono did not want Lorenzo, the second in command, to be the one that takes over. Now, we know somebody tried to unalive, our man, Luca. But we don't know who. And because of this attempt to delete Luca, it left him in the hospital and it left him with memory loss. So temporary, like amnesia. Doctors don't know when he's going to recover or if he'll ever gain his memories. They're keeping this on the hush-hush. They don't want people to know that he has had some memory damage from it.
Because they're afraid that he would get...
That they would want him removed.
Want him removed.
If you can't remember things, like how are you supposed to handle deals?
Yeah.
So our girl Isabella steps up. Starts taking control to assist him in recalling.
And the reason why Isabella's able to do this is because her mom, Isabella's mom, taught her to always know people's secrets. Because if you know their secrets, you can blackmail them and, you know, you can use that
to your advantage.
So the only people that knew that Luca had memory loss was Isabella, the doctor that treated him, and then Luca's brother, Damien. And they kept it under wraps so that way no one would find out. But the issue is that Luca had just done a bunch of deals and redid contracts with people, and no one knew what those contracts were except for Luca and then the people he worked with. And he had meetings that he needed to go to and deal with. So Isabella was just, you know, trying to do as much as she could to help him keep those deals and to make it seem like he was, you know, out of the hospital and he was back and better than ever.
Because you don't want to be down as the head of the organization. You don't want anyone to think you're weak, able to that you're weak, that you didn't bounce back.
Not able to lead. And then Lorenzo is already pissed that he wasn't chosen as head. So Lorenzo, if he finds out, he's going to use this to his advantage and get Luca out of there.
Exactly, because now it's like easier to. But also our girl Isabella used this to her advantage to kind of leverage what her expectations in the relationship were, because he was asking questions like, well, who are you? And she was like, I'm your wife. And he was like, what? Do I love you?
Yeah.
And she was like, of course, and I love you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that
girl. That also pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I knew she was gonna use that too. But
I also don't think it was a lie, because deep down he did truly care about her.
He cared about her, but
he wasn't in love with her, but he had love for her.
I guess.
Stop.
Yeah.
You know, I say that to Ralph when I'm mad at him. I'm like, I know you love me, but I don't feel like you're in love with me right now. Like, I feel like you have love for me. And he gets so mad. He's like, what does that even mean?
I feel you. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get you.
I'm like, you're not wishing bad on me, but you're not being sweet.
You're sweet, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, you love me, but you don't like me. That's what I say to Nigel. I'm like, you love me, but you don't like me. That's what I say.
No.
Yeah.
I like that, though.
Yeah. I feel like that one makes a little bit more sense.
I have a lot of sayings. Like, what did I say? I used to tell Ralph before we got engaged. I was like, I'm just a glorified girlfriend at this point. And when he proposed to me, as soon as we like left and we got back in the car, he was like, "You're done calling yourself a glorified girlfriend." He's like, "You're a fiance and you're going to be a wife." Yeah. He's like, "You can't ever say that again."
So you're just a glorified fiance.
I was like, "Well, now I'm just a glorified wife." He's like, "Are you kidding me?" I'm like, I am.
Yeah.
Obviously, I just say it to like get
Yeah.
But like he thought he
thought he got you with that one.
Right. I didn't say it again.
Yeah.
I like let it be. Didn't mention it when we were engaged. Once we're married and we got into like our first real, like not real fight, but like, you know, our first little tip. Because, you know, we don't like get into crazy arguments and dumb stuff. But whatever. I was like, well, I'm just a glorified wife.
He
was so mad. But I gotta find a new word. Mm-hmm. Like glorified girlfriend, GG, like something wife. We need something with a W.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. Yeah. If you know of anything, ladies, drop it in the comment.
Yes.
My love language is annoying.
Yes.
My husband and friends.
Yeah.
It makes them feel the love.
Yeah.
And hey, maybe that's what our girl Isabella was doing to get that love.
I guess.
Let me stop.
Well, she was being annoying and petty before he had his memory loss. Like, she was literally going up to his job every single day at 2:00 to get some.
But he was also like a little jealous.
He was, because she kept saying, like, she was like, well, if you're not gonna touch me, I'm just gonna go find someone else to touch me. I can't with her. I'm sorry.
I'm just also like, girl, you do not threaten a man like that.
Right. You just,
it's just some things you say and some things you don't say.
Yeah.
And like Luca gives off like that
much
energy where don't play with him like that.
I will kill someone. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He even told her, if you text another man, like,
yeah.
don't play with me.
Don't do that.
Right. And so, she's just
laughing, kikiing. But yeah, so she takes advantage of his memory loss and she's like, yes, you're in love with me. So they go home and so now they're this happy, lovey-dovey couple. He can't keep his hands off her. He literally, like, they go to sleep every night, like, with his hands inside of her. Like, it was just too much for me. It was just way too, and like, no judgment if that's what they do. Love that for you. I love that for you. But it's just like, this book just gave me the ick.
But can we also talk about how unrealistic that is?
Thank you. That was another thing.
Let me tell you something. Like, if I'm about to go to sleep, Ralph always, like, holds me at night.
Right.
This is a temporary hold.
You wake up, you're not...
you're not tangled up in each other. Like, yeah. And, oh my God, I do not want to breathe in his exhale.
I hate that, yes.
I don't want to inhale anybody's exhale. Yeah. Not a dog, not a kid, not a family member, not my husband.
Yeah.
Like...
So you mean to tell me they're sleeping, they fall asleep and they wake up in the same exact position? Fuck out of here. Like,
and then you've got your
hand in... No.
That's, like, not even practical.
No.
That's not even practical.
It's really not.
And I just hate, like, why are we, like...
But this book gave me it really did.
I will say the part that gave me the ick was the first time they were intimate.
Yeah.
She was a virgin.
That's right.
And he was like, is there something you want to tell me? And she was like, no.
No.
And I'm just like, the way the scene occurred, I was just like, we could have went our whole lives
without hearing anything.
And I hate to say this, but I was like, I wish he wasn't. I wish he would have slept with Angelo.
I just wish he would have. That also was just another complex of like this young. She's so young. But
I also feel like she's a mafia princess. You're supposed to like be one, and whole until you get married, and that's kind of like instilled.
I don't know.
But I was just like, that scene was just like. The spice for me.
The spice for this book, it was just uncomfortable. But I really, again, it's just me personally, age gaps like this is just too much for me.
I think it's the way it was described because what I will say, this entire series is an age gap.
Yes, that's true. That is.
It's just not described the same way. So, like, shout out to Neves for giving variety in writing style.
Yeah.
Because some people are going to read this and eat it up, honey, and they might not have ate up the Sergi.
Yeah.
And the Angelina. True. Baby, I was sipping that tea for Sergi and Angelina. And Luca, Isabella, I was like, okay, well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Love that for you too.
I literally rolled my eyes the whole book. Like, every page that I turned, it was an eye roll with the page. I'm sorry, guys. It just was.
I liked the ending. Come on, the ending.
The ending was decent.
The ending when he confronted, so basically,
Okay, let's wrap it up for the plot. Let's just wrap it up.
We're rushing through this because you can tell.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just not
basically, the person who tried to unalive Luca was Lorenzo. Lorenzo being the second in command. He was envious that he wasn't the one that got to take over, that Isabella's grandfather did not select him as his successor. So what I loved was Luca basically said, listen, you tried to delete me. I'm not mad about that. You tried and you failed. My issue was, don't you ever disrespect my wife. Like, me taking you out of here isn't because you tried to take me out and because you're mad that you didn't get the title. I'm doing this for my wife. I was like, you know what, Luca? I'm not condoning this, but like, period, Luca.
Yeah,
like,
period.
Stand on business for your wife.
Yes, for your woman. I will. No, I'll eat that up. I did like that. It was because I'm all about a man standing up for his wife, but.
Yeah, this book it wasn't as digestible if certain tropes like that bother you. Like, so for me, reading romance, like reading any book, I don't care if it's a romance, if it's a thriller, it doesn't have to be smutty, it doesn't have to be spicy. If our main characters are in high school, it's a DNF for me. I promise you I'm not finishing it. I love a good shifter book. If they are in school, it's a no. College, I can kind of sort of do. And I say kind of sort of because sometimes it's just like, it's just stupid. Yeah. Like, there's no context or there's no point. So college, it's like a little iffy. And I'm sorry, but like the whole dating and relationship thing with the professor, that's just not for me. I don't know why that just bothers me. But that trope it's a no for me.
Either. But I mean, hey, it's just...
If you like that, listen, I love it for you if that's what you love, honey. You read what you like. But that's the great thing about books. We can read what we like.
And we can DNF what we don't like. Exactly. The only reason why I finished this, though, is for y'all. So let's just get that one out. I did this for you guys.
And I can say, based off of where I am in this book series, if you were to skip this book, it may not be the end of the world.
Yeah, I mean...
But again, who knows what's going to happen in future books. Like,
I'm trying to think, was anyone brought up that... Oh, you know what? You do need to... I would say they do need to read it because the book after this is about someone in this one. Because remember, he meets... he meets the New York... Is he a Don? What is he called? There's too many different types of...
So they are Dons. Like, they're the head, like, bosses and stuff.
Yeah, but I know. But Dons are, like, Italian, right? Then you have Pecan for Russian. Then Fitzgerald was Irish.
I don't even know what you call an Irish head.
I don't know what you call the Irish head either.
Let's Google this. And I'm sorry to offend anyone if that's not right. Yeah. Irish Mafia head. Like, I don't... What do you call them? Like,
I'm assuming they have a name too. But it's just
they say boss.
Okay, boss, whatever.
We're just going to call it boss. And I'm not about to list the names of some of these people and, like, look them up. Yeah. But I'm getting a list of some...
some actuals.
Some actuals.
Well, FBI agent on Maya's phone, if you are watching, it's just for research.
Well, I don't know what you call, like, an Irish...
Yeah, but, like, they all have...
But, like, they call them bosses. But, like, for this, I'm going to give this little teaser. It's not really giving a lot away. Okay. But there's different heads, and they're all bosses, but they're in different states. So you have the New York, you have the Chicago.
Yeah, because New York is another Cosa Nostra.
Yeah, so the Cosa Nostra is like what ties them all together. Okay. And there's like the Don of Dons. So like there's someone who's over all the Dons, and it's just like to kind of keep the peace amongst the families. But then you can have multiple organizations that kind of like work together. Then like, do you remember? Was it Dushku or whatever? The arms dealer,
Dushki,
he sells to multiple of the organization heads. But when he does something that upsets one, you're messing up your money with all because they agree to stick together.
Because I'm pretty sure, didn't he, in one of this, but it might have been in this one, but he was selling a Sergei. They mentioned he was like, oh, one of my from the Bratva needs a big, huge order of grenades or something like that. And that was Sergei. Yeah. So this one, was there any cross? Oh, you know what? Isabella did meet up with Milene and them at the club. So there was a little bit of a crossover. But I think for this one, you could skip it if you want to, but you are missing like a little piece of the next book's person. But Salvatore was mentioned loosely in all the other books too, but I don't think they called him by name. They just called him the New York.
But there's a reason
because
why.
there's a reason why they haven't. Yeah, so because no one's ever met him or knows what he looks like. And Luca did meet him because Salvatore reached out to him and they met and sat down, and that was right before he lost his memory.
And then what I really do like that Neves does is sometimes you're introduced to people like, and they have a nickname.
Yeah.
And the nickname is how you're introduced to them. And then when you get to their story, you're like, oh,
like
yeah.
Next week, I cannot wait for next week episode.
Fair.
That one. This is the only reason why I kept going. Honestly, if
okay, but they told you that like
you
it's gonna be a struggle by the time you get to like book 7 and 8. It's gonna be a struggle to like rank your favorites and your top.
What I can tell you is that Luca and Isabella are at the bottom. I can give you that one.
Okay,
but,
I agree with that. Listen, it's nothing against Neves. I think she's a great author. I think there's versatility, but I think
for me, this just isn't me.
This wasn't the story that did it for me. And maybe if I wasn't such an avid reader and I read this as one of my
If this would have been the first introductory to this series, I probably would have DNF'd.
I wouldn't have.
I really would have. But that's how much I just didn't.
I feel like if this was my first time ever reading dark romance, and this was my first series, I would have finished it because one, I would have been younger.
True.
But
true,
two, also just not really knowing what I'm into and what I'm not. And I think it's also because since we've read a lot of different authors and genres,
and we know what we like.
We also know what comes with some of the books that we've read. There's things that I've read that I was like, this is crossing too many lines. And I'm sorry, nothing against any author that does that. But if you're writing about topics like that, about illegal types of relationships, I'm not reading anything from you. And listen, even if I've been reading your books and I think everything you've done is great, if I find out that you write something that should basically be borderline illegal.
Not borderline is.
Well, yeah.
Because but this isn't illegal. Like, it's really, like, 18, 19, you're considered an adult. Like, you are. Is it would I personally be interested in someone who's 30, 30? No, me personally, no.
But
so
I
don't want to read about it.
A man's been interested in a girl and he waited until she was 18. To me, that's borderline illegal. You didn't act on it, but like, and like for this, he didn't. He didn't. He didn't know her like that, like at that time, and he didn't act on it. But it's just too much description for me.
It was just too much of, and I think the reason, and I'll put it this way, I think the reason Neves did that and could have been saying like, reminding us is because she didn't want us thinking that he was interested in her. Before. So maybe it was trying to, this is one of the tropes I can't get behind. But then again, I feel like a hypocrite because the whole series is age gaps.
Because can I tell you, let me just tell you.
Because Nina and Roman had like an 11-year age gap, but Nina was also like 23. So I guess it's just...
I think it's the way she did this, because there's this book by Sonia Gray, the Melkinov Bratva. I've always told you about this. Well, in one of their Next Generations, so in the original book, there's someone from like an Italian mafia who helps. He helps the brothers, and now these brothers, they've all gotten married, they all have kids, and it's like he was at someone's wedding and he held the little baby, like she's a couple months old, has a picture. Well, 20 years later, something happened. She was like in Little Italy, and like something happened. The dad called and was like, you need to go to like Luca, or not Luca, whatever his name is, his house, because he's close to you, like so you can be safe. And he was like, yeah, I'll look after her. But it's like she had tried sneaking out, going to one of his clubs, and he saw her there and was like, absolutely not. Took her and the cousins and like drove them back home and helped them sneak back into the house. Was like, don't ever do this again, or I'm telling your dad. They're like 19, 20. But then it's like they ended up being a couple, and it was like, I'm just like, why are you telling me that he held her when she was a baby, but he hadn't seen her in so long, like, and she had not really been interested in him like that. She started getting interested when she saw him
as an adult,
but he'd never been married, and he kind of just like after like losing his sister.
Just how it's done.
So to me, although it was a huge age gap, because I mean, you are literally like her father's age, like wholeheartedly. He's old enough to be your dad, but we didn't get backstory aside from the when the dad found out. He was like, you held her when she was a baby? He was like, and everyone else was like, look at you and your wife, you have like a 16-year age gap. Like, okay, it's 19 years for them, but what's the difference? But we don't get the backstory, and I feel it was digestible because it's like, yes, this is a bigger age gap, but at least it's like the adolescent feelings are removed.
Yeah, like I think it was just, she was Isabella was to me very young-minded and very catty and high schooly about how she went about making Luca see her as an adult. I think that's what it was for me.
Because I hate to say this, it's just like, I feel like if we're going to have like a FMC that is so young, she needs to be, I don't want to say more dominant, but she needs to be a leader, and she needs to have like that.
And like the second half of the book, after he lost his memory, she did step up and she did really help him out. So it's like the second half, I think it's just how it went down.
The way it was described.
Just in the beginning. That's all.
Because I would much rather have respected and seen her like being out in the club scene.
Right.
And like,
him
just being a little jealous and possessive.
Because they did show that one time, and I was like, okay, like they did show it once.
Because she's more relatable.
Yeah.
But say something. I love my husband. If you think I'm popping up to his job constantly, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But then that also goes to show the young-mindedness of it, because it's like,
even when I was young, if I'm mad at you, I'm going to be petty and like, and go, you can't out petty me.
Yeah, I guess it just wasn't relatable.
Like that's not the way to also like get to a man. Like that's not gonna invoke something right off the bat. Not that I'm saying like to invoke fear or like jealousy out of a man, but like, what are we doing? Like that's not how you get somebody to. And maybe it's the young feelings, but it's also then it's like throwing that she's a virgin. It's just like, all right, like, it's just not realistic.
It just wasn't realistic. And then I mean, it just wasn't realistic.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna say, I personally am going through this series now in order, and this was my first time reading this one.
Okay, so you didn't read this one.
So no, I hadn't read this one. I don't think I'd read this one. But, like, I personally can't say if you 100% should or shouldn't, because obviously I don't know what happens in, like, the final 3 books of this 12-part series.
They do come up.
Yeah, but what I will say is, so far for me, it seems like if you can read it, I would. If you can't, I completely get that and just skip to the next one. But I can wholeheartedly say some of my favorite couples we have not been introduced to yet. And baby, like, don't get me wrong, Sergi and Angelina love. Roman and Nina love. Mikhail, Bianca love. And Luca and Isabella
hate. No, I wouldn't say hate. Not
my cup of tea.
Yeah, not a fan.
You guys are just like sitting over there, like, you guys are the little wallflowers.
Yeah.
You're just like, staying to yourselves, and that's okay.
Because, you know what I think about it? Bianca and Mikhail had an age gap. Well, they all do, but remember, like, even they were making fun of Bianca and Mikhail because it's like, you're not going to want to go to the, like, Roman was saying, you're not going to want to go to the club with her. So, like, it was just done.
But can we get them all together, please?
They did, well...
No,
in this book, Mikhail and Luca were fighting for the girls because they went to the club. Isabella did go to the club. She met up with Milene because Isabella and Milene are friends. And that's Bianca's younger sister. So Bianca and Mikhail were there. They're all hanging out. Isabella goes by herself, but Luca ends up following because he's like, I can't not, make sure she's okay. He ends up following her. And then Isabella gets approached by this guy, and the guy is kind of like being an ass to her. And so Luca pops up, and he's like, she's taken care of or something. And then they try and jump Luca. So Mikhail jumps in, and they're fighting. So, I mean, they do cross. That's why I was saying, like, they do cross a little bit, but it's not as interconnected as the other parts have been.
Yeah.
So you could skip this one. You might just be missing that little scene and then the introduction of the New York Don. But he was mentioned in the other ones, just not by name. He's actually mentioned by name in this one.
So basically, moral of the story, this wasn't our favorite. I didn't hate it. May's teeter-tottering.
Not teeter-tottering.
Oh,
I stand 10 toes.
She 10 toes down on this hate.
I did not like this one at all.
But you hate it, or you just strongly dislike it?
So, because it's a part of a bigger story, I'm going to say that I don't, hate is a strong word. Now, if this was just where I started, if I was like, oh, I'm just going to pick a random one, and because it is interconnected and you can kind of start from anywhere, if I would have started with Isabella and Luca, I would have DNF'd. And if we weren't doing this podcast on this series, I would have DNF'd. And I would have DNF'd and skipped. And probably just looked up what I missed out on.
Okay.
Yeah. So, not my favorite. Take that as you will. Yeah, take it as you will. Who am I? Like, who are we? We're not experts, just, so. just let me know what you think. Let me know if you were able to, let us know if you were able to get through it.
And we're not going to ask you to rate your favorite character or your favorite couples right now. We're going to wait.
Yeah, because mine stayed the same.
We're going to wait until we get to book 7.
Oh, okay, 7.
By book 7, we should be able to narrow it down because you'll be narrowing it down basically between 6 couples since we know this couple
one's at the bottom.
Is at the bottom. And at book 7, we will cross that line to see who is your favorite and who's not. And then we will be coming back next week with book 5, which is all about
Salvatore and
Melanie.
Yeah, Melanie. I don't know why I always want to mess her name up and call her something else.
And if you don't remember, Melanie is Bianca's sister.
Is Bianca's sister.
And their brother is
Angelo. Yeah, I can't. That one, I already read. That one, we'll say that. Them. Yeah, I love them too.
I love them. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of couples that we're going to come across that we love. And then I think the final 2 to 3 couples we're going to love too. So I'm like super excited. Yeah. So we will catch you next week, Book Babes.
Please follow us on Instagram at itsbooksoverboys. Follow us on TikTok at itsbooksoverboys. And then always send us a email at itsbooksoverboyspod@gmail.com with your thoughts, what you're reading, what book recs. Book recs for our never-ending TBR. Reach out to us, guys. This has been fun. I'm loving it.
Yes, I'm loving this. I love reading. I'm glad we get to share our thoughts and our views. And I'm not regretting doing this by any means, but I'm excited to also finish this and get into some standalones, get into some indie authors, get into some different genres and tropes. Because also, as we're reading this, we are also reading other books.
All right, so see you later, alligators.
Bye, Book Babes.
Bye, Book Babes.
It's books overboard.